I wasn't ever intending to be an actor. I was a math geek. But I learned how to use head resonance. You produce sound in the head, and nasal resonance you produce in the nose. So I decided that acting had been fun, and I was going to study acting. So I went around and I took all the acting classes from different people, audited a lot of them, and I took them and I studied under people that had studied with Sanford Meisner. I studied on somebody who had studied with Lee Strasberg. And then I came across this acting coach named Judson Vaughn. That's where I met a lot of the people that I took acting class with, and I took acting there for 10 years. Judson was totally technical. And being a technical guy, I responded to the technical approach to acting. And he had studied with Michael Shurtleff in L.A. for about 6 years. And Michael Shurtleff wrote the very best-selling book called Audition. And he had like 12 guideposts. These are things that you ought to put in your audition to make it good. Romance and opposites, things like that. Well, Judson took that kind of idea and he ran with it. He said basically everything an actor does should have a concept. And he created like 150 different concepts. And he taught us the concepts so that we could see them in a scene. So when you saw a scene, you would be able to critique it in terms of the concept. I saw this concept. I saw that concept. Well, all the concepts were not created equal. Some are more important than others. And I'm going to talk about some of those. But the basic thing a good scene has, it has two people that care about each other. Even if they're going to kill somebody. If I'm a mob guy, I play a lot of mob guys. And the lines were something like this. You really fucked up, Joey. You fucked up bad. And I treat you like a son, but now I'm going to have to kill you. So I would hear people auditioning for those lines. And they'd go, you really fucked up, Joey. You fucked up bad. I treat you like a son. I'm going to have to kill you. And the next guy would come in there and go, you fucked up. So I would go in there and go, you really fucked up. Joey, you fucked up bad this time. And because I cared about Joey, the guy that I got to kill, I would get the audition. So people like people that care about other people. And you look at Hannibal Lecter, played a really bad person, but he cared about Clarice. So good acting, for the most part, is simply caring about the other person that you're talking to. Okay? So I'll tell you a few of the concepts that I think are kind of important. One is stillness. Stillness is important. Importance. So when something happens, I'm going to be talking like this, and then if I get still for a moment, then what I'm going to say sounds important. For the most part, actors move too much. They move around too much. They throw their lines away too much, and they don't, or they try to make every single line significant. I had mayonnaise on my sandwich today. Oh, yeah, you go, I had mayonnaise on my sandwich today. Then I found this. So then becomes the important thing. So anyway, one of the things Judson used to teach is, he called those an expelling or a spelling, when you sigh or huff. And I did a lot of huffing. And I had to learn to train myself not to huff on film. I also used to do a little tick. So when you're a beginning actor, you may have like little actorisms that you do that you need to work on and get rid of. So I expect a good actor to be able to deliver the lines and look like they look and be able to take direction. But I've learned that a lot of people that do the method acting like I used to do aren't really open to receiving information. They don't like to receive information. They like to be in the character. And the character's choices are the real choices. But, if you've got a director saying, hey, I would like you to do so-and-so, they're going to want to work with you again if you can do what they're asking you to do. And some people go, oh, that director is giving me a line reading. Well, believe me, if you come on set and you do absolutely astounding work, the director will not give you a line reading. But every good director has gone through a scene in their mind before they shot it many, 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 many hours. So if you go there and you just basically know your lines, don't expect to get up there and not have the director tell you what to do, because the director is going to want a certain type of performance. So I expect every actor to know all their lines, and I mean by know them, not just, I got to look at the book here. Because what I did as an exercise when I taught acting is I would give people lines and say, come back when you have them memorized. And they would come back in 20 minutes. And then I would say, well, step on this box when you say this line. And then on this line, step off the box. Well, no one can do that. They have to remember the lines. They have to do it. So when you know your lines, you'll be able to take direction at the same time and deliver them. But if I gave them the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and I told them, the United States of America, step on the box here, to the republic for which it stands, step off the box there, they were able to do that. They were able to do that because they really knew the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. So as a minimum requirement, as an actor, you need to show up knowing the lines. And that means knowing them well enough to take direction. What I also appreciate is if you're an actor, is you plan that scene before you come show up. You plan all your specific things. So some of the concepts that I'll talk about, one is creating interesting pictures. A picture is a visual memory that you create. The directors have pictures in their minds. But if you did something like this, and then talked like that, that might be interesting if it was related to the relationship in the scene. Because your primary job as an actor is to create an interesting scene and put us on a roller coaster where you're taking that relationship and you're changing what we see in it. So if you start off, in the end of the scene, you've got to be in love with this person, fall in love with them. Well, you don't want to start the scene that way. You want to start off maybe being mad at that person. It doesn't really matter how the lines are written. If the line says, I hate you, I want you out of my life, and people go, I hate you, I want you out of my life, and the next actor goes, I hate you, I want you out of my life, that's not interesting. If you go, I hate you, I want you out of my life. No, seriously. Time you're saying exactly what you mean, you're uninteresting. Someone can close your eyes. If they can predict what you're going to do, you're dead as a performer. So you want to be, a great performer wants to be thrown curveballs. You want to change up what you're doing. So anyway, I'll talk about the one thing that I don't like to have in a Dick Mays film. I don't like, Judson doesn't like spellings. He also doesn't like doing this, or the head shake with the girl. Why? Because we see it too much. Another thing that wasn't specifically for Judson's, but we see people move too much. Oh, let me tell you something like that. But I don't like shaking the head. I don't like shaking the head. Let me tell you why I don't like shaking the head. I don't like shaking the head. Let me tell you why I don't like shaking the head. It's always more interesting if you don't shake the head. Isn't it? It's always more interesting. I don't like shaking the head. I don't like shaking the head. I've never seen a scene that I thought was better where the actor shook his head, where it wouldn't have been better if they nodded. So, if you're going to do something really remarkable and you want to shake your head, I haven't seen it where I like it better. So, I've also learned that if I tell an actor, okay, that was let's try to do that without shaking the head, guess what? They can't do it. Okay? So I'm telling you in the video that I don't like shaking the head in the Dick Mays film, so you can all practice that before we show up on set. There are some other concepts that are relatively important for, and one is what you're looking for in a relationship. I look at what you're looking for in a relationship as kind of like points of the compass. We can travel in 2 dimensions on the surface of a lake. We can go north, or we can go south, or we can go east, or we can go west. Vastly simplified because there's actually more than 2 dimensions in any relationship. But if we take the 2 most important dimensions, one is attraction. I like you. I want you to like me. And the opposite is repulsion. I want you to know that I don't like you right now. Well, you think that we show repulsion to people that we don't care about, but we actually show repulsion to the people we love the most. We get really mad. Mom, I can't believe it. And it turns out the other dimension is connection versus disconnection. Connection is, I want you to understand me. I want to understand you, and I want you to understand me. Disconnection is, I don't want to have anything to do with you. We see disconnection in the elevators. We see it in the lines of the supermarket, people pulling away. So if somebody engages the teller with a little connection, it becomes something interesting. So we don't really want to see a lot of disconnection in our performers because we see it every day. We're bored with it. The 3 places where we should go is connection, attraction, or repulsion. You can have a little bit of disconnection, but a little bit. And generally speaking, if you're in a scene with somebody, it's more interesting if you change what you're looking for at least once in the scene. So you can gameplay repulsion. I can't believe you. You threw away my best shirt. I looked great that shirt. That shirt was 20 years old. No, I look fantastic. You can gameplay repulsion. That's not quite the same as actually doing repulsion. But we want to see a little change up to what you're looking for in a relationship. The one thing that I think is always makes a scene better when you rehearse it is in the rehearsal process, you want to find what you find the extremes of a scene. So you can go through and you can do a scene completely with attraction, completely with repulsion, completely with connection. We've done attraction. We can't do attraction and repulsion at the same time because they're two opposites. Connection and disconnection are also two opposites. We can't do connection and disconnection at the same time. But we can do attraction with connection. Hey, I want you to understand me and I want you to like me. We can do connection with repulsion. I want you to understand me and I want you to know I don't like you. So they're like points of a compass. But there's also a point that's just in the middle. It's called serving it up with nothing on it. And a lot of times, we want to use serving up with nothing on it when the lines, when what we're saying, the words are super important. We don't need to put anything on it. Your mother died today. Those words are powerful, so you don't need to, you can serve them up with nothing on it. You don't put attraction. Hey, your mother died today. No, don't put repulsion. Your mother died today. You don't put connection. Your mother died today. You just serve it up with nothing on it. So really important lines a lot of times are just served up with nothing on it. For example, you're scene and you go, I'd like a divorce. Serve it up with nothing on it. A lot of times where I call the bad acting, when I see acting that's not believable, is people putting stuff on lines that should have nothing on them. So if I say, hey, give me that line, serve it up with nothing on it. And you go, oh, I'm an artist, and you're giving me a line reading. Oh, really? If you're going to be a person that says, oh, I'm an artist, I can't do a line reading, stuff like this, it might be the wrong project for you. Seriously. Because I'm a nice person, but when I get on set, I get impatient. I get tired. I get impatient. Oh, by the way, teamwork. We all want to work really hard to make everybody else successful because we can't achieve anything on our own. So I'm going to work really, really hard to make you a fabulous actor. I see everything. So when I'm talking about something, I'm not ever doing it for any other motivation other than to make you look fabulous as an actor. So trust me that. Those are some of the main concepts. Pictures, visual pictures. If you do something interesting, your hands, your faces, things like that. Visually interesting things that people. I remember this movie called Say Anything, and John Cusack was in it. And this scene, he stood outside and held a boombox up, playing their song for the girl. Well, that became on the cover of the movie. That's a very striking visual picture. We will remember pictures more than we will individual dialogue, unless you've seen a movie like Road to El Dorado 50 times and I know all the dialogue in the movie. For the most part, we remember visuals. There's some powerful visuals. I remember in a Slumdog Millionaire, picture the little girl huddled out in the rain and the two boys sitting in the back of the truck, dry, looking at that little girl being poured on. Very powerful picture. So, a lot of times as a director, I'll be putting pictures in there because they can viscerally affect the audience. I call them visceral visuals. Visuals that have emotional impact on the audience. I let you know that I'm a little bit technical oriented. I talk in terms of these concepts, and there are a lot more of them that come there. But if you know attraction, connection, repulsion, and you know serving it up with nothing on it, you know what I'm talking about when I say pictures, okay? Then that will get you about 80% of the way there. And we'll get the rest of the way when we go up there, when we get there. I just ask you to have patience with me. I'm a geeky guy. I do not have a lot of emotional sensitivity to other people. I'm just not wired that way. So if you get all upset and you want me to be a real caring person, I'm caring in an intellectual, abstract way, but that's why we have Roxanne Mims on set. She's a wonderful person. She's been my partner. A lot of times when I am not giving actor what they want, she'll come in and rescue me. So I'm looking forward to working with each of you. I just want to give you a little bit of warning. I'm a little geeky, technical person. And so you show up, know your lines, be open to things. And if you want to impress the hell out of me, plan stuff that's good. And I'll be impressed. And so we're going to add, that's my favorite ad. You have a scene. After you rehearse it, rehearse every single line with repulsion, attraction, and connection. Then you choose where to use what. Those are boundaries of the scene. So many people rehearse things and they only rehearse it one way. When you rehearse it one way, you become locked into knowing that line based on the way that you're saying it. So when you rehearse every single line with repulsion, and then every single line with attraction, and then every single line with connection, it's easy to accept a different way to say the line. So I'm looking forward to work with everybody. That's a little bit about the acting thing. That might have been too long for some people. Some people might have been more interested in hearing it. Hubcap, I hope you're all excited. I'm going to see you on set.